and welcome to Lisa's Italian Kitchen. Tonight, I'm making a fabulous comfort Sunday dinner for you. Start with Veal Marsala, a traditional, wonderful dish with Marsala wine from the island of Sicily of my beloved grandmother, who actually was born and raised about 30 minutes outside of Marsala in a neighboring town. Then for our vegetable, we're going to have cauliflower Bontempi, which means cauliflower good times. And believe it or not, this recipe is from my, yes, listen to it, great-grandmother. So that's my mother's grandmother on her father's side. My great-grandma Franco was a wonderful cook. She had 9 children and wonderful recipes. So this is going to be a great Sunday dinner, comfort style. Let's start with our cauliflower Bontempi from my great-grandmother Franco. So what I have here are 3 heads of cauliflower, which I've parboiled. Now, ordinarily, I only use 2 heads of cauliflower, but this week at the farmer's market, the cauliflower were very small. So I bought 3 because you want to fill a casserole, just a 9 by 12 regular casserole. I'm actually using a lasagna pan because I like the depth. And what we're going to do is just top it with a delicious topping, bake it at 350, and we get a gooey, delicious, cheesy cauliflower dish. So what my great-grandma Franco did was she started with 2 eggs, and you just beat the eggs, and then we're going to add all the other ingredients to the egg. So very simple. We're going to add this right on top of the cauliflower. So here I'm beating 2 eggs, and I have 1 cup of chopped onion, 3 to 4 cloves of chopped garlic, and 1 pound of shredded mozzarella. Now, I have also varied this by putting in a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. So if you'd like to do that, that makes it a little less cheesy and just gives it a bit of a crunch. But tonight I'm just doing the traditional recipe of my great-grandma Franco with the mozzarella, the garlic, the onion, and the egg. So just mix all that together. This is such a simple dish, but you know, if you have children, I made a lot of cauliflower dishes when my children were growing up with breadcrumbs, with Bontempi like this, with the mozzarella, all of which are in my cookbooks. And my children just loved it. So it's a wonderful way to get your children to eat different vegetables. We're gonna put about a 1.5 teaspoons of salt and just a teaspoon of ground black pepper. That's it, super simple. We're going to mix all this up, and then we're going to spread it. Now I have olive oil on the bottom of my casserole so that cauliflower doesn't stick. Put my parboiled cauliflower in, and here we go. We're just gonna top the cauliflower with this delicious egg, onion, garlic, and mozzarella cheese topping, and then we're going to bake it for 30 minutes at 350. Wonderful way to just vary your cauliflower recipes. I'm a huge cauliflower fan. So, you know, sometimes you're tired of the green vegetables and you just want to go with a nice cauliflower side dish, contorno as we say. There you go. How simple is that? 5 minutes of preparation, 30 minutes of cook time. You have a great contorno or side dish with your wonderful, delicious protein of Veal Marsala, which we're going to make now. So now I'm starting my Veal Marsala, the secondo or the protein main course of your Sunday dinner. And here I have a large frying pan, and I'm just melting 4 pads of butter or 4 tablespoons of butter and about 3 to 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So what we're going to do is place our veal in the flour mixture and then brown it on each side. Remember, veal takes very few minutes to cook. It's cooked very quickly. Now, if you would like to substitute chicken, some people don't care for veal, that's fine too. Chicken marsala is delicious as well. I have here 1 pound of white mushrooms, which I've sauteed in butter and olive oil. Now, again, these are optional. Some people prefer not to have mushrooms in their marsala. I'm a huge mushroom lover, so I put them on the dish after I saute and make my sauce, saute my veal and make my sauce. So what we're going to do here is we have about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of flour, which I'm going to salt generously, and pepper. I've taken my veal scallopini. Scallopini means scallops, very thin slices of veal. But once I buy them from my butcher, then I put them between 2 pieces of wax paper, and I take my meat mallet and pound them just to get them a little thinner. You want your veal to be very delicate and very thin. So we start for veal marsala and veal piccata with veal scallopini, which is not a dish. Veal scallopini is actually the cut of the veal. So some people think it's a dish in Italy. It's really not, it's just the cut. So here we go. Here's 1 veal scallopini. Look how thin that is. And then I pounded it even more to make it more thin. We've got our olive oil and our butter nicely melted. And as I said, veal cooks quickly. It's very thin and delicate. We just want to brown it on each side. And that's what we'll do. And then after we've made these nice and brown on each side, we're going to plate them in our platter. And then I'm going to make the marsala sauce right here in my saute pan. I'm going to add the marsala and pick up the bits of flour that have browned and fallen off of the veal cutlets or the veal scallopini. That's so delicious, the best part of the sauce. And then we'll add our marsala wine to get a rich, flavorful sauce for our veal. So veal marsala comes from the island of Sicily. Marsala wine is from the town of Marsala, obviously. And there are different types of marsala wine. So there's sweet and dry. I prefer to use the sweet when I'm cooking. It's just a little more delicate. I think it lends itself better to the sauce because it's a delicious reduced brown sauce on the marsala wine. If you want to use the brut or the dry marsala, that's fine too. It's delicious either way. It's a bitier sauce when you use the dry. So I'm really partial to this. I'm also partial to drinking this. This is a wonderful drink to have as an appetizer with your, as an aperitivo, with your appetizers or hors d'oeuvres before dinner. It's a wonderful sweet wine. Some people love it with dessert. I have another recipe in my cookbook for strawberries in marsala wine, which is really good. So it's a very versatile wine. So now my veal is just bubbling. The butter and olive oil is bubbling with my veal scallopine. Put a little more flour on that one. And we're going to get them nice and brown on either side, plate them, and then add our marsala wine to our olive oil and butter and the bits of flour from the scallopine. So now I've cooked all of my veal scallopine or pieces of veal in the butter and olive oil. So look at these beautiful pieces of flour that I have from the cooking process. And now we're going to take 1 cup of sweet marsala wine. And this is going to reduce into a rich, delicious sauce, picking up all of those pieces of flour, browned flour, at the bottom of the pan. I like to keep this now when I reduce the sauce between low and medium on my flame. You don't want it too high. Look at it, it's reducing already, you can see. And then what I like to do is just pour my sauteed mushrooms into this sauce. Now, I always saute my mushrooms separately. As you probably know, mushrooms are about 90% water. So when you saute them, you're going to get a lot of extra liquid in with your butter and olive oil. What I do is after I saute them, I drain them, I return them to the saute pan, and then I put a little bit of fresh olive oil on them and salt and pepper. I don't salt and pepper them until they're cooked. Salting mushrooms before they're fully cooked causes the mushrooms to get hard. So I don't know if you've ever been served in a restaurant or made at home mushrooms that get kind of tough. It's because you salted them too early in the process. You don't want to salt a mushroom until it's fully cooked. So look at this beautiful reduction of sauce that we have. It's already salted and peppered from the flour. I'm going to gently pour my mushrooms into the marsala reduction. Stir those for a few minutes until they're well coated with the sauce. And here I have my beautiful scallopine. So I'm going to just pour this sauce right over my Veal Marsala. Look at that. Oh, absolutely heavenly. This is wonderful to serve on maybe pasta or rice. And here we have our delicious cauliflower Bontempi. Look at the cheese has melted, the mozzarella has melted beautifully. Oh, I wish we had smell-o-vision. I can smell the onion and the garlic. Wonderful, it's a delicious taste of, let me just show you a piece of how delicious and gooey it is. Look at that, wonderful cauliflower. Salt, pepper, olive oil, butter, mozzarella. That's it. Such a delicious side dish. So, you know, this dish is a wonderful, comforting Sunday dinner, but it's also a very easy weeknight dinner to do. I made this entire dinner for you in 45 minutes. You have a gorgeous, delectable Veal Marsala, melts in your mouth. Remember, you can always substitute chicken if you don't want to use the veal. Cauliflower Bontempi, a satisfying, gooey, cheesy cauliflower side dish. So, thank you to my great Grandma Franco and my grandma, my nonna, who comes from Marsala, for these wonderful dishes. And tutti a tavola, buon appetito. Ciao, ciao.